Welcome to another episode of Wild, Edible, and Medicinal Plants here in Pennsylvania. Of course, a lot of these plants grow throughout the U.S., especially in the eastern part of the U.S. and in other places like Europe. And I just got done making a video on garlic mustard, and we are looking for something similar in name and taste, but not in how it looks. We're looking for wild garlic. This one can be difficult. It's easy to find, but the problem is it has lots of other common names associated with it. And there's also other plants called wild garlic as well, but we'll talk about that when we get some in hand. And yes, we are going to eat it as well. We might regret that, but we'll see. So I'm going to keep walking around here, see if we can find some. I saw some earlier today, so I know it's out here. All right, so I'm walking down this somewhat of a trail. I am seeing some little clumps of it. Let's get a better look at it. Here's a nice little clump of it right here. Here's some wild garlic. Kind of grows. Little clumps of it intermixed with everything. But here's a nice little clump of it. So that's what it looks like. Now this has, like I said, this is a number of other common names, which I'll get to in a moment. So let's get to talking a little bit about wild garlic. So, like I said, it has a ton of other common names. A lot of times it gets called wild onions, onion grass, wild chives, field garlic, meadow garlic, field onions, all different kinds of names. I grew up calling it wild garlic, and I did some research today, and that is kind of the best name for it. There are other plants known as wild garlic as well. Common plant is called ramps. Some people call that wild garlic. So it's one of those plants that can be kind of confusing, like depending on what area you're from, Pennsylvania or the country. You call something wild garlic, they might think you're talking about something else rather than what you think you're talking about. So you gotta be careful about stuff like that. So I'm gonna put the scientific name for wild garlic on here so you can see, if you want to research what I'm talking about here in this video, you can get the correct type of wild garlic. So here's the scientific name of the particular wild garlic that I'm talking about. Of course, allium just refers to, that belongs to the general onion family. And venil was kind of interesting. Venil refers to a vine or wines or a vineyard, because that's Latin. So I'm kind of wondering if, because I have some wild garlic here, if it refers to that these were commonly grown or occurred in vineyards over in Europe or something like that. Let's just say that this is a native of Europe as well. Because I dug this one out. Oh, of course it has a little bulb on the end. And one thing about wild garlic is that the leaves are tube shaped. If you break this open, it's hollow on the inside. It's hollow on the inside. You can actually see the hollowness. There is something called wild onions, and those leaves are flat, or like curved flat, but they're not hollow on the inside. So that's one way to tell the difference between a wild onion and wild garlic. Is that for the wild garlic, the leaves are tubular and hollow. Of course, this plant can be considered a nuisance in some areas. It often grows in yards, and when you mow over it, it gives off that great oniony, garlicky smell. And it's one of the things I love to smell first thing in the spring. It's just the smell of spring. I used to live on a farm, and I remember mowing over the grass in the early spring, and that smell coming off. I loved it. And it can be kind of invasive at times. And if it gets into pastures, it can, and the cows eat it, it can give an off flavor to milk. It's been known to do that as well. So it's not always popular with farmers as well. Now you can use the leaves, like chives, if you cut it up real thinly, and you can eat them. They actually don't taste that bad. You think they have a really strong taste. Not that strong, right? So could add just a little bit of flavor to a salad or for cooking, something wild. Then there's the bulb itself. So I'm gonna take the roots off. Now I did try these before. I tried them raw and cooked. I don't have anything to cook with out here, so I'm just going to eat this as it is. Because I pulled the roots off. You want to peel some of that outer huskier skin off the outside. I may regret this, but from what I remember last time, it wasn't terribly bad. But maybe that was last time. Maybe it'll be different this time. So here we go. You ready? The middle kind of popped out. Oh, wow, yeah. It wasn't so bad at first, but there's a bite to it. Yeah, if you cook them, it takes away a little bit of that bite. But yeah. Whew. Now I'm gonna have like horrible breath the rest of the day. But I did bring some other stuff to eat to take the taste out of my mouth. But you know, not that bad actually. I mean, well, in a way it was bad, but it could have been worse. All right. If you love onions and garlic, it probably won't be as bad for you. But I'm not a huge onion person. Like if there's onion on my pizza and stuff, it comes off. Sorry about that. All right, I need to get this taste out of my mouth. And so once again, here's what the plant looks like coming up out of the ground. It grows in clumps like that usually. Or sometimes, like here's a little bit right here. Sometimes it grows in smaller clumps, like there's a few pieces right there. But it's scattered about here. Like here's our big clump. There's some right here, a little bit right here. But it can cover huge areas if it's just allowed to grow. So if you are a big oniony or garlicky person, you might enjoy partaking of some of those. But as I'm going to say in all these videos, you know, make 100% sure of your identification before you eat anything. You know, when in doubt, throw it out. I mean, for this stuff, it's pretty easy to tell what it is. If you just tear a leaf off and smell it, it definitely smells like garlic. But there's always some look-alike plants that could be similar to it and could also be deadly. So be extra careful when you do choose to partake of wild edibles or medicinals. Just be careful. Alright, well thanks again for joining me on another one of these videos. It's a beautiful day, so I'm going to keep looking for some more wild edible or medicinal plants out here. There's a few more I'm looking for today. So as long as I keep finding them, I'm going to keep filming. Alright, I'll see you around.